The shadow. The town of Millpine was small, tucked between mist-soaked hills and forests that never seemed to end. When Evelyn moved there, she told herself it would be peaceful, away from the noise and chaos of the city. The air was crisp, the night silent, and the people polite, but a little strange. Her neighbor, Mrs. Rose, was one of the first to greet her, a kind older woman with shaking hands and sharp eyes. She warned Evelyn on that very first night. "Don't go out after dark, dear," she said, voice quivering. "There's an old story here. We call him the Shadow Man. He walks when the streetlights hum, chooses anyone foolish enough to still be out. Once he's seen you, the nightmares begin. They never stop until you've lost yourself." Evelyn chuckled softly, brushing it off as a local ghost story. "Sounds like something to keep the kids from sneaking out at night." Mrs. Rose didn't laugh. "Keep your doors locked," she whispered. "Promise me." A few nights later, Evelyn went to the corner store. The air was damp, a fog rolling in from the woods. On her way, she passed a man sitting by the curb, muttering to himself. His clothes were filthy, his eyes wide and empty. "They never stop," he whispered as she hurried past. "He watches, he waits. They said I was lucky. Lucky I lived." Evelyn didn't look back, her heart racing as she entered the store. The clerk shook his head when she mentioned the man outside. "That's Tommy Hales," he said. "Used to live near the edge of town. Saw the Shadow Man one night." He's never been right since something about the way he said it made Evelyn's stomach twist. But she said nothing more. It was almost midnight when she finally went home from exploring the new town. The streets were empty, except for the hum of flickering lamps. Her footsteps echoed down the sidewalk. Halfway home, two figures stepped out from the alley. Men with cruel smiles and desperate eyes. "Hey there, sweetheart," one called. "What's a pretty thing like you doing out all alone?" Evelyn's pulse spiked. She backed away, fumbling for her keys. But before they could move closer, a voice boomed through the night. "Leave her." The words didn't sound human, deep, resonant, the kind of sound that made the street lamps flicker and the air freeze. The men turned and ran. Evelyn looked up, trembling. A tall figure stood beneath the failing light. He was not fully visible. His edges bled into the dark. Even the light seemed to bend away from him, as if afraid to touch him. His face was hidden in shadow, his form pulsing like smoke against the night. "Thank you," she stammered. The figure said nothing. For a moment she thought she saw faint, glowing eyes, like embers buried in coal. Then he was gone. That night, Evelyn dreamed of hands in the dark, reaching for her, of faces screaming from walls of smoke. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the man, taller, closer, whispering things she couldn't understand. The next night was worse. She woke up screaming, her sheets twisted, her skin clammy. She saw him at the foot of her bed, his eyes burning like dying stars. By the third night, she hadn't slept at all. Her reflection looked wrong. Its eyes moved a second too late, its mouth twitching into a smile she didn't make. She tried to tell Mrs. Rose, but the old woman only looked at her with pity. "I told you," she said softly. "Once he's chosen you, he doesn't stop. He feeds on fear, on the pieces of your mind that start to break." Evelyn began seeing him everywhere, in the corners of mirrors, in her windows at night, in the black sheen of her coffee. His voice echoed when she was alone. One night, unable to bear it any longer, she stumbled into the street, barefoot and shaking. The town was silent, the air heavy and still. "Please," she cried into the darkness. "Make it stop. Please." The shadows around her thickened, folding over the street like smoke. The hum of the lamps died. From the fog, the Shadow Man appeared, towering, faceless, endless. He extended a hand, his voice a murmur that filled her skull. "Come with me," and she did. When the sun rose over Coldridge, Evelyn's house was empty. The door stood open, the light still on. Mrs. Rose called the sheriff, who searched the woods, the river, the hills. They found nothing. No body, no trace. Just one more name whispered in the town's dark history. One more voice in the shadows that never left. And when the streetlights hum late at night, some say you can still see her silhouette walking beside him, both swallowed by the darkness that loves them most.